Great job. Welcome, everyone. I'm Lisa Sumption. I'm the director of the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department, and I am very humbled and honored to be with you today. I will say this is the weirdest place to speak, as we're all moving and swaying and going, please don't fall down. But I am humbled by the gravity of this place. For centuries, the forces of nature have shaped and changed this landscape into what it is today. Sometimes these changes occur quickly. A landslide that takes out a bridge, for example. Other times there are stretches of time when there seems to be no or very slow natural changes. Often, the quieter periods are interrupted by catastrophic events that test our ability to understand and accept change. Some change, like floods, fires, landslides, we have to merely endure and survive. Others, like widespread cultural wrongs, don't leave the same evidence behind, like the landslide that swept away this bridge. These invisible but horribly damaging challenges could lead us to take visible action, though. The bridge we're here to rededicate today is just one iteration of bridges we've created to cross the stream previously. I believe it's the third. This bridge, made with steel, concrete, and the latest engineering, is seemingly so eternal. Yet it, too, will meet its fate from its predecessors and end someday. Sorry, John Sievers, but it will. Just hopefully not quite as quickly. At parks, we fix bridges, we fix buildings, we fix problems with camping reservations. We often think of ourselves as have the ability to fix just about anything physical. Yet, the things that are most difficult to change and fix are not physical. In contrast to how nature effortlessly changes the landscapes, we as humans can be much more resistant to change, and encouraging others to change at times can seem impossible. We can change the bridge, we can change a reservation policy, we can repair a building, but changing people's hearts and minds can feel more challenging. However, what we can do is we can help shine a light. We can provide a bright place for all the people that help illuminate the dark places often hidden by the way we record our history. When we think of this place, the human story that occurred here, this place becomes such a beacon of light. It can tell the story as it occurred, not portions of the story, but the entire story, and warn the people of the idea of introspection. That's what we aim to do at parks and at this place, in all of our parks. Illuminate the dark, tell the whole story, ask the tough questions, and for the people who are ready, give them space to pause and reflect. We've learned we can always fix a structure. We'll need to fix this one again at some point. It probably won't be us gathering to do that, but somebody will be here. I promise you, Joanne, to do it. I made her that promise before we got up here. But healing hearts starts with introspection, and that can be the one kind of bridge that will endure us forever. So please join me in acknowledging a few people that are here in attendance before we get going with our formal. And some of these folks I think have already been introduced, so sorry for that, but we're gonna recognize you again. Robert Kentta, if you want to raise your hand back there for me, thank you. General Manager Curtis Barker, sorry. Lisa Norton. The tree's in my way. And Celine Rialtos. And from the Confederate tribes of Coos, Lower Umpqua, and Siuslaw Indians, Julie Sistering. Doug Barrett. And if you didn't see the beautiful piece that Doug made for Amanda, please check it out before you leave. And Anna Helms. Okay. And so the City of Yachats, Mayor Leslie Dollar. And the City Council member Mary Ellen O'Shaughnessy. City Council member Ann Stout. And City Council member Anthony Muirhead. And City Council member Greg Scott. And then I would also like to give a warm welcome to our state elected officials, Senator Anderson and Representative Don Berger here with us today. And then Angel Job Corps, Jeff Bowles. I believe you're here. I saw you before we came in. Oh, yeah. And then Lincoln County Commissioner Claire Hall is here with us as well. And then Michele Holman from the Siuslaw National Forest is here too. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Greg. So Greg, if you'd like to come up. We'll pass in time because it does feel really weird and you're going to want to hold the microphone.
Thank you. It's certainly good to see a nice turnout this afternoon to this bridge dedication. We're here to celebrate the bridging of cultures and the healing of hearts. Isaac Newton said, "We build too many walls and not enough bridges." We build too many walls and not enough bridges. For many of us, our initial impression of Oregon coast is how beautiful it is. It really is a magical place. However, it is the quality of the people that often keeps us here. Today's dedication finds us in the heart of Oregon's beauty. Bridges are a metaphor with multiple meanings. At the most basic level, they describe the physical connection of two locations. One example of this is the connection of Yachats to Cape Perpetua via the Amanda Trail and this bridge. However, I prefer using the word to describe the connection between people. In this context, the Amanda Bridge represents the closing of a gulf between coastal indigenous people and more recent arrivals to the Yachats community. It also includes all the people in service, building trails, parks, working on city commissions, committees, caring for the environment, and working in nonprofits. I think that probably describes a good many people in this audience. We're here to celebrate, in my opinion, the spirit of volunteerism that is so much a part of our community. This bridge represents the third time we as a community have come together to build a bridge in this location. While the second effort was a more hands-on affair in terms of the actual construction, the size and complexity of this project required a different approach. The speaker list for this dedication reflects this diversity and the scope of community and volunteer participation in this project. More than any other attribute I know, volunteerism defines our community, and this bridge is a reflection of that spirit. As a community, we need to acknowledge and celebrate a life of community service that includes bridging a large gulf with indigenous people, advocating for trails, and fighting for the environment. I'm of course talking about Joanne Kittel. She is a role model for all of us, and this is much a celebration of her life's work as it is about the dedication of a bridge. Thank you, Joanne, for all that you do. While Isaac Newton said, "We build too many walls and not enough bridges," for all that volunteer, know that you are building bridges that bring people together. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I want to recognize the hard work and cooperation of many, many community volunteers, the Confederated tribes of Siletz, the Confederated tribes of Coos, Lower, Umpqua, and Siuslaw Indians, Oregon Parks and Recreation, and others for realizing the vision many years ago and creating this trail. Today's dedication of this new bridge is a wonderful milestone on this journey. Now, I'd like to ask you to take a few moments to listen. Just listen. When we don't fill the space around us with our own voices, we can more easily open ourselves to the greater universe around us. We can hear the rush of the stream, the roar of the ocean, the song of birds, and perhaps the spirits of those who preceded us on this spot. Among the voices I hope we're most attuned deeply to today, and I suspect we all are, is the woman honored by this trail and this bridge, a woman known as Amanda. What little we know about the facts of her life were recorded in the diary of Corporal Royal Bensel, who was stationed at Fort Yamhill. In 1855, the federal government had established what was then the vast Coast Indian Reservation with the intention of bringing all native peoples in this region onto this property. Not surprisingly, the natives who had called this land home from time immemorial rebelled against forced relocation and efforts to make them adopt European ways, and a drift back to their homelands began almost immediately. According to Bensel's diary, Amanda was one of 46 Native Americans who were rounded up near Coos Bay in 1864 and forcibly marched back to the reservation. She had to leave her child behind. Bensel described her as old and blind and wrote movingly about the hardships Amanda and the others were forced to endure. You know, I'd like to wish that this march happened on days as glorious as this one, but somehow I just feel it was probably one of those cold, wet, wind-lashed, wet days. On the final day of the march, the group had to negotiate the rocky cliffs here at Cape Perpetua. Bensel said Amanda tore her feet horribly on the jagged rock, leaving so much blood behind it was easy to track her path. What are the lessons of Amanda's story? Certainly, it's a tale of the cruel indifference the European white power structure inflicted on Native Americans for almost 2 centuries. It's also a story of the human ability to survive and thrive under the most ghastly circumstances. I'm sure there are many other lessons Amanda and her journey can teach us, if we're open to them. May we never forget her, and may we always be open to listening.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall. That was great. Thank you. Please join me in welcoming Michele Holman from the Siuslaw National Forest. Hey, good afternoon. And I wanted to, when Joanne asked me to speak today, I took some time to really think what I wanted to say. And there's so much, and most of it I can't really express in words. But I thought back to when Joanne let me know that she intended to build a suspension bridge to replace the last bridge that was damaged by the storm. And I will admit that I was I was a little bit skeptical about the ability to do that. And what I learned from that are a couple things. One is never bet against Joanne Kittel, because she is absolutely a force of nature, and along with that, she is also a force behind bringing people together, as you can see around you, and the incredible response the community came out with to honor this building of this bridge today. The second piece I wanted to talk about is a little bit about kind of the connection that the National Forest has with the community, state parks. This bridge is a link between that allows the community to walk and between Yachats, Cape Perpetua Visitor Center, and it shows the power of connection, the power of partnerships, and the power of what
we can do with each other as if we come together. When Joanne said that she was actually gonna, they had enough money to build it, I was like, right on. This is amazing, because things like this don't happen very much. This is very unique and very special, and it's because of the people who are behind it and who are pushing to get this built. So the Power Partnerships community. The other thing I want to talk about is Oregon State Parks, and I don't get to talk about them in this position very much. But if you don't know, the Oregon State Parks has an incredible service ethic, and being in the same type of business, they really raise the bar and show us as a Forest Service, as an agency who manages a significant amount of recreation along the Oregon coast, how to be in service to the public, and how to be in service to each other. And so I just want to thank Oregon State Parks. Thank you for being a great partner, and thank you for all the money and everything else that went into building this bridge. So great job. And lastly, I don't think you can't really come up here and say anything without mentioning the specialness of this place and of Amanda and what she went through. And in a broader sense, I think what it's taught us is how horrible humans can be to each other, right? It's a place of a lot of hurt. And so, and it gives us an opportunity to heal, come together, and remember what we should not do to each other, how to heal, and how to support each other in community. And I think that's a really great lesson. It's a special gift to be able to come here and be reminded of what people went through, and how we should do everything in our ounce to prevent that in the future. So with that, thank you so much, and be proud of your community because it's special. Thanks.
Thank you, Michele, and that's very sweet, but we look up to you a lot. All right, how about Robert? Would you like to come back up and share a few words?
Hold on, everybody. Robert's on the bridge. Well, there were already some really good things said about bridging communities and all the. Sorry, out of breath. Just all the collaboration that led to today happening. And when I first met Joanne, I don't even remember what year. 1995, for those of you who remember. Her and Suzanne Curtis were both fairly recent arrivals to Yachats community, and learned a little bit about this being a sub-agency of our reservation in the early days, and wanted to know more about that. And so they embarked on a project of research, talked to myself and others at Siletz, Don Huerat, and others at Councilor, Siuslaw tribe, and we provided them with other historical documents and some of our oral histories about what happened with removal to the reservation and how our reservation really was taken out from under us. And so our relationship really blossomed from that initial contact, and I count Joanne as one of my dear, dear friends, as many of you probably do. And she's always assisted and supported a lot of our tribal efforts. She's participated in our what used to be annual Run to the Road. Of course, that's been interrupted through this pandemic. protocols, but she's just an avid outdoor person who supports all good causes. And how she brought state parks and Forest Service and others together and View the Future board really needs to be recognized today for all their volunteerism work and efforts towards today. But I just wanted to, I didn't really expect to come back up, but there were some things I thought left unsaid on my part, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to get those things out. So, again, appreciate everybody for their work towards today and for those who are in attendance. And there will be plenty of opportunities to volunteer in the future to maintain these trails and keep them safe and open for public uses. So, thanks again.
I'm trying to think of what year I met Joanne.
2009.
See, she remembers everything. 2009. 2009. From that point on, ever since we've been walking the Amanda Trail all the way from the top. Jesse usually brings us up with a bunch of kids, and we walk the whole Amanda Trail and come on down here and do a little ceremony. So it's been awesome that, the Forest Service, Park Service, and all these volunteers fixed this trail so we could walk on it. From clear to the top all the way down. It's just amazing. I know Chief would have loved to have been here and would have loved to do a song, and he would say thank you so much for everybody being here. It's awesome that we see all you here, and we do this twice a year. What's the other time we do it? Do the Peace Hike and Solstice. So we come here at least twice a year. Before when we were driving by, I didn't even want to stop here. My parents didn't want to stop here. But now we stop here all the time, and my favorite place to eat is the Drift Inn. So, the only place I can get good razor clams. So I still appreciate everybody, all the dedication, all the work that everybody's done for this bridge. We were here putting the first bridge up and doing all the nuts and bolts for that, but it's nice to see this one is going to stay. This one isn't going anywhere. So maybe a little spray paint when it starts rusting, but hey. Thank you again for everybody being here. We really do appreciate it.
All right. What I want to just echo that, just full of gratitude to all who have been involved. There's been many times I've wanted to come and help, and we're just can't make it. But we love to visit this land. We love the work that you all are doing, and we just have a lot of gratitude towards you all. And Doug mentioned how a lot of our families didn't just kind of drove through this area or avoided this area. That was one of my families. I lived about 5 miles up the Siletz River growing up, and my family would always just go through. It was just silent. And I never really realized why until later on in my life. That history was not really talked about when I was a kid, not around me anyway. And so, but coming here now brings, I know what that healing, I feel that healing of coming here and seeing you all involved and, seeing this happen has brought a lot of healing to our families and to our community. And I just want to thank you all for everything that you've done. Has really created a better day and future for us all. And I just know that, we're all blessed. We're all blessed because of that, and planted a really big seed here. So thank you.
For me, the biggest part of today is that we're all here together. The last couple of years of COVID lockdown has been crazy for us. We're so thankful for the Zoom opportunity so that we could at least see each other. But we're a gathering people. We're a socializing people. The way the stories come down is orally. They have some on these scrolls and they're translating them, and they're translating our language. However, being together is the most powerful thing that we can do. And I think that there's several people that have commented on this, but the idea of us all working together to help ourselves help us is the only way that we're going to make things better. And I humbly, humbly, humbly thank all the people that made today possible.
Joanne's going to come say something next, but I want to say we also have a Taloa Tatutin lady back there from Smith River Rancheria, Crystal.
Thank you all, especially for coming up and not knowing you were coming back up. That was much appreciated. And so I have the great distinct pleasure in passing you along to our next incredible speaker. She needs no introduction. Joanne, would you please step on up?
Oh my. Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge how much I miss Chief Donald Slider being here. I know he's thinking about us today from OHSU, where he's recovering from surgery. I talked to his wife Debbie this morning, and their heart is here right now. And I want to speak for all of our Yahatian citizens that we sincerely and dearly are wishing for his complete and full recovery, and that he can come back here very, very soon. You know, when my husband Norman and I acquired this property 36 years ago, we had 3 dreams. One was to have a public trail through our property. The second one was to establish an irrevocable conservation easement, of which we both have done. And the third is to learn about the local First Nation history. I never dreamed that with so much help and support, I'm here to witness this most powerful celebration today. In the written program that y'all have, it lists how many individuals were involved in the suspension bridge creation. I can make that number tenfold as to how many people have been involved in making today possible over the past 36 years. No one more than I am is blessed to have borne witness to having so many competent and compassionate people help with creating the Amanda Trail and its tale of 3 bridges. The first bridge was built in 1997 with Job Corps, Siuslaw National Forest, Oregon Parks, and volunteers with $0. When the 1999 slide happened, park staff and I repaired that bridge and rebuilt the area, including replanting over 150 trees. And then 13 years later, from when the first bridge was built, we View the Future in Oregon Parks with the help of the tribes, Siuslaw National Forest, City of Yachats, and our own new trails crew built bridge number 2. When the horrible debris slide happened in 2015, 78 people came from View the Future, Oregon Parks, Trails Committee, Jail Crew, Angel Job Corps, the tribes, and Siuslaw National Forest to reopen this trail with a temporary bridge, rebuild a new gathering area, and have a new symbol of Amanda. And now we have bridge number 3, this magnificent edifice. Our third bridge would not have happened without the vision of Oregon State Parks. And the bridge had to be tabled indefinitely because of layoff of state park staff due to the pandemic. Lisa and Dennis Comfort over there said, somehow, some way, we're going to build this bridge. And all the funders that recommitted themselves with the awarded funds, including the Confederated Tribes of Siletz, Confederated Tribes of Councilor, Siuslaw Indians, and Discover Your Northwest, gave us our funds, those funds back, because they really trusted me and State Parks that this bridge would be built, and we honored their trust today. And I want to have special thanks to John Sievers, who took charge when Jeff Wagner was laid off and managed the project brilliantly. View the Future is our local grassroots recreation land cultural preservation nonprofit, and it's been in this community for 19 years. Our hardworking, all-volunteer board has always been blessed to have partners who have supported our mission's efforts, such as today the suspension bridge, and also planning today's dedication and reception and the play performance tonight. They include Oregon Coast Visitors Association, Oregon State Parks, City of Yachats, our own Yachats Trails team, Angel Job Corps, Yachats Ladies Club, Polyplum Productions, and some of the local resorts. We all make those efforts, including all those volunteers who are making the performance of the Amanda Transcending play a reality. And on behalf of View the Future, we thank all of you. And for those who are be attending the play this evening or tomorrow, called Amanda Transcending, you will come to know a certain character by the name of Ray. This character is actually based on 3 individuals who are primarily responsible for bringing the historical truth about our local indigenous history to our Yachats community. You've already met Robert Kentta, a Cultural Resources Director, Tribal Council member, who was one. Phyllis Steves, who's now a retired archaeologist with the Forest Service and Tribal Liaison, who's watching from the Commons right now. And Don Warat, who was the first historian of the Councilor Oakwood Siuslaw Indians, whose ashes lay along the Amanda Trail. It was those 3 individuals who opened their archives, gave us critical and crucial information, and supervised Suzanne Curtis and I on an article we co-wrote in 1996. That article would not exist without their help. Over the years, those 3 individuals continue to share vital information as has other tribal members come forward to give us additional information, like Chief Slider, Patty Phillips, Jesse Beers, and more. As a result of their generosity, our community is so fortunate to have this critical part of our history. And there's one more individual I have to thank most of all. One that I feel that without her, this day would never have come. And that person is Amanda. Amanda's spirit has supported me. She supported us to bring the historical truths to the forefront of our community. She has made sure this trail exists despite the many obstacles, including several debris slides, of which one sacrificed her symbol, the second bridge, and over 400 trees. As a result of that one obstacle, she saved lives during the 2016 New Year's Day peace hike. She stood strong and never gave up. So how could we? Amanda, you were forcibly taken from your beloved daughter, Julia. You were marched with other captives, barefoot, starving, freezing, and tore your feet horribly on the rocks, leaving a trail of blood, while you were led to the prison camp. You died here. I know you died here, and you never saw Julia again. Yet, dearest Amanda, you still give with all of your heart. It is you, Amanda, with your strength, courage, compassion, and grace, that we give our heartfelt gratitude and love for all of you have done to bring us to this day of celebration. Amanda, your trail will never be destroyed by natural disasters, pandemics, or human strife. Your story, your trail, the bridging of cultures that you created will live on and be a solemn and spiritual one that will give grace and joy to all who walk your path. I thank you, Amanda, and I thank you all.
Joanne is a very special person, as we all know, and during the pandemic, which was really hard, we did lay off people. Things were crazy, and we made these commemorative coins to be able to pass on to folks, to our employees and our volunteers, and folks to say thank you for rising up through all of our challenges the last couple of years and sticking with us. And I can't imagine anybody who deserves this coin from Parks and Recreation more than you, because no pandemic was going to slow her down, no layoffs were going to slow her down, and she might sit here and say everybody else, but we all know the reason that we are all right here today is because of Joanne. And I think Greg wanted to say one more thing real quick, and then we'll get ready to wrap up. So if Jesse and crew want to start making their way this way, that would be fantastic.
So I just wanted to say a couple of things, both from a personal perspective. There are a couple of people here that I don't believe have been sufficiently acknowledged. One of them I'm looking at right now, our former Yachats mayor, Ron Green, who did as much to instill a spirit in the construction of trails as any human being I've ever known personally. So Ron, stick your hand up there. You go, young man. A great person, great mayor, and a wonderful spirit when it came to building trails. And one other individual that I didn't really include in my previous comments is standing right over here. Yes. Dennis Comfort. I just wanted to share with you a little bit of information about bridge number 2 when it was under construction and the materials were initially delivered to Joanne's property. Dennis and his son camped for, I don't know, a lot of nights when it was really cold in order to ensure that none of the materials disappeared. And I know one of the packages weighed 900 pounds and was full of stainless steel bolts and nuts that were ultimately assembled in what was bridge number 2. But nobody inspired me more and impressed me more than Dennis. His heart and soul have been so much a part of this area and these projects as any other person I know. So Dennis, well done.
So, thank you, Greg. On behalf of Oregon State Parks, I want to thank everybody that showed up here today to commemorate this special place in time and space in time. We're all equals here as we commemorate the past and look forward to the future and celebrate this bridge and the metaphor it stands for, as well as the physical attributes of it, which would connect U.S. Forest Service with state parks physically and with all of our spirits together. So enjoy the rest of the day today. Thank you to all the volunteers that put this thing together. What an army of yellow vests we have out here. Through the 3-bridge saga, every single person that's had any role in this is so special to all of us together, regardless of government affiliation or nation. That I just so appreciate everybody's heart and soul and spirit. The friends from the tribes that I have, the friends from the Yachats, the staff I work with, our elected officials, the unelected officials. Thank you so much for showing up today to make this special. And thank you for excellent weather as well as we feel the sunshine. So have a great day. Thank you very much.
That concludes our formal ceremony, so please enjoy and check out everything that's here and walk across the bridge as soon as we get off of it. And thank you all again for being here.